This sad beige bathroom needs a huge lift. So as you can see, everything in here is original from the builder, which means everything in here has got to go. That means the tub, the tiles, the vanity, the mirror. It's all gonna go, and it's gonna be a really fresh looking space, especially for my nieces.
Hey guys, it's Hannah. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing an incredible bathroom makeover I did with my brother and his 8-month pregnant wife. So my brother and Neil and Esma, they have this really outdated bathroom, but it's for their 2 little girls. And we want to completely gut it and transform it. To be honest, I've never done a project to this scale, and I wasn't sure if we would be capable of doing this ourselves, but somehow we did. Like, we didn't end up hiring a plumber, although many times throughout the project, I asked my brother if we could. And I'm putting together this video to show you that you can do it too. I wouldn't say it's like beginner level, but there's a lot of aspects that you could take from this project and do yourself if you are a beginner. So buckle up, because we had to get this done before the baby came, and it was such a rush.
The first thing we're going to do is remove the vanity. So this is an old vanity, so we're going to start by removing the doors. There's a couple of screws inside the doors, so we just need to remove the screws and the cabinet doors just pop off.
Okay, so now we're gonna start taking the vanity off. So Neil has turned the water off, and we know that because he flipped the tap and no water's running out. So next.
So you want to undo the plumbing apparatus. So there's 2 threads. There's one here and one back here. The P-trap here holds all the dirty water, so you want a bucket, because when you take this apart, all this water is going to fall into this bucket.
I mean, you live in a house. Oh, gross.
It's on. So the drain, it releases nasty gases. So unless you want to be smelling poop gases, you probably just want to take cloth and just stuff it up in here.
Okay.
That's going to prevent the smell from coming out.
Now that we got the plumbing off, we got to get the actual vanity off, but after I cut the caulk, I realized that there was no way to get this apart. So it looks like we're actually going to have to break it, which seems like a big job.
So we've hit a snag in removing the vanity. This screw back here, it is really close to the sink, so the drill cannot get in here. My brother doesn't have any really cute screwdrivers that do fit, that have the right shape. So we're gonna have to pivot a bit.
In the meantime, while we try and figure it out, I'm going to get this mirror off. So always make sure you tape up a mirror.
Okay, so I'm going to try removing the mirror. You want to have all your protective gear, right? Like your goggles, gloves, shoes, just in case the mirror breaks, right? We hope it won't, but just in case. Okay, so this mirror in particular has clips. Here, I'll show you guys the clips actually. And you can see them. It has the clips, so we're gonna try popping off the clips and then seeing if the mirror comes off. It's probably glued on as well.
Once we popped the clips off, we used scrap wood, just like shims, in behind the mirror to wedge the mirror loose, and that's when it actually slid off.
So as you can see, removing the vanity was such a difficult task for us, so we moved along to taking out the toilet. This toilet is just 2 years old, so there's no point of buying a new one. We're just taking it out, and then we'll reinstall it after we put in the new flooring.
So step 1, you are going to have to turn the water off. So right now I've turned the water off. Then you want to flush the toilet to try to get as much of the water out. This part's not fun. And then we're going to remove this using a wrench. Okay, so that's done. The next thing we're going to do is see these caps back there. We're going to just take a flathead screwdriver, pop those off. There's one on each side. And then we're going to, it's going to show a nut, and we're going to just loosen the nut. And that's really what holds the toilet in place.
This isn't me. This is my 8-month pregnant sister-in-law who insisted on helping. Isn't she amazing? I'd be chilling.
So, as I said to you guys before, we remove the toilet. So with the toilet, you just gotta lift straight up once you've loosened the bolts. And Asma and I, we just moved it to that back corner over there. It's out of the way. Hopefully the kids don't use it. Now this part is a bit gross, so please fast forward if you don't want to see this. But this is the wax ring. Now that wax ring is pretty new because I just installed it a couple years ago, but that's what prevents the leaks from the toilet. Now, again, you probably want to use gloves here, and we're going to just remove that wax ring and get a new one once it's time to put in a new toilet. So that's what that looks like. Now I'm just gonna take a rag, and unless you want to smell poop, we're gonna just put that in there to prevent any of that poop smell to come out and bother us. But always remember that when it's time to install the toilet, we gotta remove that.
So now that we've got the toilet removed, we came back to the vanity, and this was such a struggle for us, but we managed to get it out in the end. Unfortunately, we had to take apart the whole thing. We wanted to, you know, repurpose it and donate it to Habitat for Humanity, but it just wasn't possible in this case. Okay, so the issue with removing the vanity is really about the plumbing, because you can see down here, we want to keep the plumbing intact, but how do you remove this? So Neil is slowly just taking apart every piece. All right, so we're gonna try and problem solve this. Most of the time, the pipes don't come through the floor, they go in the back. So we are gonna try and cut a hole and then remove the vanity, and then we'll deal with that just so that we don't cut any of the pipes. So first up, cut a hole with the drill, drill a hole with the drill, and then we'll use the jigsaw.
I feel like this is real life problems and you always run into this kind of stuff in older homes. So we're just trying to figure this out on the go. And this seems like a good way to just actually get the vanity out because we're having such a hard time getting it off the wall and out of the bathroom. This is pretty exciting. We're finally starting to make some progress and we're getting this vanity off the wall. We have to take it apart piece by piece, which kind of stinks because we wanted to reuse this. We really want to have as little waste as possible in this project, but it's just not going to be possible.
Oh my gosh, Neil, you did it! You did it, Neil!
Oh, it was a team effort.
Team effort, led by Neil.
And like the demolition was never ending in this bathroom, so we got the mirror off, the vanity off, and the toilet. Now the next thing we have to do is get rid of these old ugly tiles. They are original to the house and they really do nothing for this bathroom. We're going to be replacing them with heated flooring and tile on top, so it's going to be really cozy for my nieces. To take off tiles, you just need like a chisel or some type of a pry bar, and you just go in with your hammer and gently try and get that right underneath the tile and wedge them up. Taking them off is not too hard, and most of the tiles came off almost as full tiles. Now the difficult thing was figuring out what to do with this mortar. So this is the leftover adhesive from the glue, and we want to get a flat surface, so when we put our next layer of tiles, it's not bumpy and ridgy, right? We need it to be flat and level. So at first Esma thought that she could use an iron. I don't know, she saw this hack somewhere online that you could use an iron and it pulls up mortar, but mortar is like cement, so this definitely did not work.
Getting rid of the excess concrete from the floor.
So why can't you just like tile on top of this?
It's going to be uneven and it's not going to be smooth.
Okay.
And it's going to be really raised.
I see, okay.
So we got this bad boy from Home Depot. It's called a hammer drill.
Okay.
It's quite a bit of fun. But
Yeah, it's really loud.
It's really loud.
Super loud, okay.
So
Make sure you have your protective gear wear, I saw that.
yeah.
Good, okay.
We ended up renting a jackhammer from Home Depot. So this is great because you can rent it for a couple of hours. And this was extremely dusty. So if you do it, make sure you got your gloves, your mask on. And honestly, it caused dust to go into like the hallway, even though we had the door closed. But yeah, we got in there with this jackhammer, and after that, my hands were like throbbing. So what are we gonna do with that? Yeah.
This one's still right off.
Okay. So we're gonna have to get new mesh stuff as well.
Might as well.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, actually, you did a really good job of keeping it.
Yes, I did. I know. That's why I was like, why is it all up when I came in? After this painstaking process, my brother finally got down to the subflooring, which is where we want to start laying our tiles. We need a clean surface so that the new tiles can stick to the subflooring, so we really had to clean this up.
So here's good stuff. Yes, Neil cleaned everything last night. So this here is where we're going to be focusing today.
Before tackling the tub, we need to actually turn the main water off in the house. So we went down to the lowest point, which is in his basement. He turned it off. And then you have to go around to every single drain in your house and just make sure it's empty. So just dump all the water, like open the faucet and dump all the water out into like a bucket or something.
Okay, so Neil's saying we're going to have to maybe divide this area and conquer. All right, let's do it. Go.
We're gonna smash halfway across all the way. We're gonna make sure that there's no studs. So it's just taking the hammer, going straight across. Okay.
So he's talking here about avoiding smashing the studs. So you need the studs obviously because they're structural, and secondly because you're gonna add kerdi board to the shower to add the new tiles. So you need to attach the kerdi board to the studs. This was actually really fun. I was surprised at how easily this came off.
All right, Neil's gonna remove the handle with a hex key.
If you're watching and you're like, how do they know how to do this? I honestly don't know how my brother knew all this plumbing either.
It's too worn down.
It's like really rusty and yeah.
It's too worn down.
Okay, I didn't know this, but this piece, it actually screws on. So Neil just unscrew this and it pops right out.
Once we got the bath fixtures off, now we can get the rest of the old tile out. I used a reciprocating saw, and all I heard my brother say was, make sure you don't hit a stud, make sure you don't hit a stud. And thank goodness by some miracle I didn't, because I would never hear the end of it.
All right, so this is great. The tiles are out. We still need to figure out how to get these faucets off.
My brother had his friend come over and help him remove the tub, which is fantastic. So now we've got this blank slate bathroom that we can finally begin to work on. Is this demolition going to give me a little bit of PTSD? Probably. I probably won't think about it for a long time after. Finally, we're getting to the stage where we're going to be installing tile. So we actually bought a tile saw for this. We just figured that this is a big project and we're going to be doing this a little bit slowly. So it's going to be more cost effective to buy one, but you can also rent one too.
We also want to add a really cool feature wall behind the mirror. And we thought that it would be really fun to do a tile pattern. So there's a lot of tile in this washroom. There's going to be tile in the tub, tile on the floor, and tile on the walls. So for this, we chose a really neutral hex pattern. It's a white tile, and we're also going to grout it white. And I think that's really nice because it's subtle, but adds like a really high-end element to this bathroom. We're going to start tiling, which is so exciting. This day is finally here. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is check to see if their walls are level. Fingers crossed, because this is not an old house, but it is an older house. I mean, even new houses, the walls are not always level. So if they are, it makes your tiling job a ton easier.
So we're using the premix mortar, so you apply it to the wall, and then you go in with your trowel at a 45-degree angle and make these little grooves for the tiles to actually stick to.
So me and my assistant actually did a really good job. And all we need to do now is everything left actually needs a cut. So this side all cut, the top all cut, so on and so forth.
Next is the bathtub insulation. So it was a bit of a tight fit to get it in here. As you can see, Neil and Usma are struggling to get it in. It's not just making sure the tub will fit, but it's also making sure the drain work, like the piping, will work.
So this is the final product after over a day and a half perhaps of work. The new tub is in. We had a lot of hiccups along the way. I spent a lot of time yesterday building this, which is the drain previously. However, that didn't work out. I ended up just buying a kit, which saved a lot of time, but even then, there's a lot of playing with it to make it work. Definitely worth the money.
As you can see, installing the tub was such a challenge, but once that was in, we got to actually tile the tub. Now we chose these large scale tiles for the tub just to make it easier for cleaning, and also it's more aesthetic because we're doing a very interesting pattern on the floor. So we wanted to keep the pattern on the walls much more neutral. So both with that hex tile and also with the tile in the shower.
Now that the nightmare of the tub is done, we can get back to installing the kerdi board. This is like a waterproof membrane for your tub walls.
So it's been a little bit slow, but we've made good progress, and I think we're feeling better about where we are now. We are essentially waterproofing the shower with kerdi waterproof boards, and what Neil's doing right now is the boards are in different pieces, so he's actually just mudding up the joints to create a waterproof seal. And then I'm actually just going to be working on our tile wall here and just finishing up the tiles here.
So the kerdi board is done, and you can see this kerdi band goes over the joints to ensure that there's no water seeping through. It acts as a waterproofing membrane.
Shower's been prepped with a kerdi board waterproofing. We're now starting to install the actual tiles. Generally what you do is you start in the middle and you center it and work your way out. We laid the tiles down. We found that actually we end up with having to cut off small slivers of each one at the ends, which is going to be much harder. So if we just start in one corner, it'll be centered enough, and it'll be much easier to cut at the end. What you want to do, especially with big tiles like this, is you butter the wall as well as the back of the tile. So you put on kind of a straight, you put it on straight to begin with, and then you take the trowel and you just run the ridged edges at an angle, which creates some ridges to help actually adhere it better to the wall. But bottom line, you want to stick it to both the wall and the tile.
There's a lot of different tiles in this washroom, so we chose to go with a large scale here so that it wouldn't detract from the floor, which is really like the feature tile. One of the most exciting parts of this bathroom is that we're going to be installing heated flooring, which is amazing since we live in Canada and this is a little girl's bathroom, so it'll be so nice for them to wake up in the cold winters and have heated floors. We did have to hire an electrician just to wire some of it, but we will be installing it ourselves. Next came the heated floor installation. So this is a product from Warmly Yours, and what's great is that when you put the order in, you actually work directly with the company and you send them like a map of your floor and they help you design the heated flooring in a way that makes sense, that's like closest to your electrical panel, so they take some of the guesswork out of it. So we laid it down exactly as they described in their blueprint for us. We did have an electrician come in to help us with the wiring, but the mat itself can be laid down by yourself.
We're now laying the thin set over the heated flooring. We originally had planned to do this in one step and lay the tile at the same time, but after a lot of debate we decided to play it on the safe side and do it in 2 steps, which means we're adding some time to the project, which we don't really have right now, but we'll figure it out.
Asma picked this floor tile and we honestly regretted it a little bit. So this is a marble, and this type of marble was like a little bit soft and it was quite hard to cut. It wasn't like a hard ceramic tile, so I wouldn't say that this type of tile was like a beginner friendly tile. The other thing is that it was like a mosaic because it had this alternating like white gray pattern, and it was just really hard to cut. Like the tile would fall off the mat all the time. It looks beautiful in the end, but it was just really hard to work with. Okay, Neil and Asma are starting to lay down the tiles, so the first thing they want to do is draw these straight lines, and then they're going to work off those.
Never in my life have I cut so many tiles. Now the one thing I will say is this tile that we picked for the floor, I'm not sure if I would totally recommend it, especially not for beginners.
So a bunch of these are actually chipping, so you can see this. I encountered this a lot when we did our own backsplash, and so the way to go about this is that for some reason, when the cut is like too long, so this is like right at the end of the cut, something happens and the saw just chips, or the tile just chips. So what you should do is make a cut on both sides and join them. So I'm gonna go like halfway up here, I'm gonna go halfway up here and meet the cut in the middle, and then it's not gonna chip. So see, this is a lot better now. We don't have that little chip here. It's not perfectly straight, so something I could work on, but at least like the tile's not chipped. So Asma assigned me this awesome task of cutting basically like a whole of the ventas. So I made all these slices, and now I somehow need to like get a clean line here. So we can try and get some of these off, but might have to actually cut the slices even smaller. Okay, so this is as clean as I could get the line, but I'm hoping that they have one of those tools. It's like a chipper and we can just straighten it out.
Meanwhile, Neil and Asma are making great progress on the tiles. This is how we tackled all the tiling. So Neil and Asma installed the tiles and I was doing all the cutting, so we kind of became an expert in our own area.
So Asma is actually making a template and cutting around this because we were trying for way too long to try and measure it. And I remember when we did our entryway, this was a suggestion that a lot of people had. Okay, this is the tile piece I cut. Here was Asma putting it in. Oh gosh. Moment of truth. Moment of truth.
Oh no.
Oh no! Oh no!
Is there any way to shave that off, or?
I'll not shave it off. I'll have to work some magic.
Tiling was actually so much harder than I anticipated, but I think that this was probably the best project for me, while my brother and sister laid the tiles down.
Let's be ready.
Oh man, so we are getting really close. Doing the last row now, and I've been on heavy duty cutting. And it's just getting that perfect cut in that corner. So it did fit? Yes. That's why you did it.
That's what it is.
We did it.
Because this is a little girl's bathroom, we also decided to add this fun floral wallpaper. I think it really makes the room pop.
I'm so glad my mom is here, so without her, there'd be so many things that I just wouldn't be able to do. So she's just back buttering these tiles, and then see there along the baseboard, we'll need to fill that gap, so she's filling that gap.
And while she's filling that gap, I'm cutting all the half tiles that need to be done. I can't even believe it. We are finally at the end stages. We are grouting the tiles, which is so amazing. Honestly, this washroom just felt like a marathon. We got a new vanity for this bathroom, and it's like this beautiful rich green, and I'm so excited to see it in here. It's just gonna look so good with like the flooring and the wallpaper. And my brother used a diamond drill bit to hang up the mirror, and honestly, it's just so amazing seeing your mood board come to life. We just need to add a few of the finishing touches, like, you know, the plants and the artwork.
One of the last things to do before you're done your renovation is to caulk. So this is a silicone caulking from DAP. This you need to use basically on every seam where the wall might meet the tub, the vanity, you know, anything like that, the tiles with the wall. It's going to prevent your walls from, you know, water getting through and they're rotting. So this provides that protection. So all I did was, so I've got my caulk open, I've got it loaded into a caulking gun, and then I'm just going to do the caulking around the edges of the bathtub and pretty much everywhere. So I'm going to apply the silicone to this trim and then stick it onto the tile. And whenever I do any type of caulking, I always say less is more. That's a pro.
My brother's hanging the plants, so these are some of the final touches. This bathroom renovation has been one of the most daunting projects I have ever done. I never thought that I could do so much demolition and plumbing and tiling in a single project. And there's no way I could have done it without my brother, who somehow just knew how to do all this plumbing, and also my pregnant sister-in-law, who was like 8 months pregnant and just about due. I'm so excited to show you how 6 weeks of work came together in the end for my nieces. When I started to design this space, I really wanted it to be special for these little girls and really freshen it up, because this house is old, but they deserve something beautiful and warm for themselves. So here it is. I can't even believe that this is the same space. We spent so much time and effort trying to make this a beautiful, cozy bathroom for these little girls. I think the wallpaper is that perfect touch, which makes it just right for this age group, because they're 4 and 3. But all the tile that we used in here is really neutral, so we know it's going to grow with them. I also love that we've picked these matte black finishes, so it looks really sleek and high-end. If you're thinking of tackling a bathroom renovation, I hope this gives you a ton of inspiration and confidence. It wasn't an easy project, but we definitely loved how it came together.
As you can see, there are so many different elements to this bathroom, and I really love how it came together. I honestly cannot believe that I did this project. This is the kind of project where I look back and I know that I really stretched my skills, and like the fact that my brother did not let us hire a plumber is just like, it blows my mind to this day. How did we do all that plumbing all by ourselves? I think some of my favorite elements in this bathroom are definitely the heated floor. If you live in a cool climate and you're gonna be having any type of demo, install a heated floor. It wasn't that expensive. It was under $1,000, but really it adds so much to this washroom, and it makes it so much more comfortable for my nieces, especially in the morning when they wake up and it's really cold. You can even set it to a timer, so every morning it warms up at the same time. I also really love the vanity, so we went with this bold color choice, this like, you know, really deep green, and as you know, deep greens are really trending lately, so it's that kind of vanity that just makes it look really high end. Working with my brother and sister-in-law was definitely a challenge. Thank goodness we finished it before the baby came, because that would have really put a wrench in our plans. But it was really challenging because this was a type of project that just there was a lot of details and we didn't really know what we were doing. When you do an accent wall, it's really straightforward, it's easy to do, but a bathroom is just a whole nother level. But anyways, I hope you guys love this video and it gave you tons of ideas on how you can tackle different problems that you might encounter in a bathroom renovation. And if you like this video, let me know. What was your favorite part? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time for more DIYs.